Ready for pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have anybody remotely, Councilman Weaver on remotely?
He is not. I was informed that Councilman
Cap-
Markey was
yeah.
out with illness, and Councilman Weaver said the same. So,
Yep. Very good. We'll let the roll call reflect that Councilman Demick and Councilman Zant and myself are here, so we do have a quorum. So we'll move on with our meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. Been moved by Councilman Demick, second by Councilman Zant. We have approved the agenda. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed the same. Only affirmative. Any communication from citizens? Please come forward and identify yourself.
Jake Steller. So wanted to start off by saying thank you guys for the purchase of the 3 acres. Really kind of rounds that ranch out, makes it, should have been done a long time ago, so it's nice to have that done. So what I'm here in regards to today is that is not zoned. And it has historically been used for agriculture, will continue to be being used for agriculture. So I would just I'm requesting the governing body of Shoshoni to zone that as agriculture. And just then we will be completely completed. We closed on the 1st of July. If anybody doesn't know, you guys got the cash, we got the land, good trade. That's all. I just want it zoned.
Excuse me, Jake, is it zoned agriculture presently or just unoccupied land?
I don't think it's zoned. That's what I tried to find out. So
not in our town. It's zoned by the county assessor's office as they determine, but not by the town of Shoshone.
but it's in city limits.
It is now. It just recently became in our city limits, so
Okay.
we need to get that zone.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do to get the town to zone that?
Believe it's not adjacent property that we just, the governing body just has to have the public hearing and officially zone it.
Yeah, any zoning has to go through
And I'm
regular process.
right. I figured, and I got to talk to the county. I'm still working on who to talk to that because I know that the 156 acre portion is zoned residential, although there is no residence, but there is agriculture. So I'm trying to get the whole thing zoned agriculture because we're running goats and horses and chickens and rabbits.
And that issue I actually had with Councilman Demick about some property that he had in town that on the map server shows as zoned, but it's different than our zoning as a town. So they're two separate things. So what you see on there is for tax purpose zoning,
Right. Yeah. it's
not
like-
for what you're limited to, what you can do with it.
right.
If that makes any sense.
It does. And I'd like it zoned agriculture because
Yeah.
there's no
So-
resident.
Is it zoned or you mean zoned or assessed?
Assessed.
Assessed.
I would think.
So I don't understand that. I just figured that with the purchase of the 3 acres from the town, this would be the perfect time to get that zoned agriculture. Since it's in city limits.
And all assessed in agriculture.
Yeah, I can talk with you offline afterwards if you want.
I just thought, no, while the iron's hot, I'd ask for a little.
First, what is it right now?
It's not zoned at all. It's just.
So wouldn't it be
occupied
cheaper to
land.
leave it as nothing than,
But the county assessor can assess it whatever she wants, irrespective of how the town determines the land usage.
I'm talking, my question had to do with the stuff outside of the town, so
Right.
whatever is in town limits, town council has ability to put it in zoning however you want. but zoning has nothing to do with the taxes. Well, I guess it could, but my point being is they're two separate things.
So Jake, what had happened on mine, so we had a piece of property that was commercial for years and years, and then on the tax thing, it showed up as residential.
But it's zoned.
But it's zoned, so it by, in the town, it is commercial property, but they wanted to assess it as residential. I don't know what the price difference was. I didn't understand that, but that's what he's referring to as far as in land, they've gone and just done their own thing for the good or the bad, probably better for them than
Right,
us, but
understood. Okay, so, yeah, I wasn't really sure how that all works, especially with it just being annexed. So thought I'd hit you guys up on that.
probably take you 6
I-
months.
I didn't figure it'd happen by tomorrow, but it'd be nice to happen at some point. So thank you for your time.
No, appreciate you bringing it up to us at this time. Any other communications from citizens? If I see on the agenda, we next have an executive session scheduled for real estate. I just realized that. I was thinking we may have an employee personnel issue to talk about too, but we can just go forward with the real estate.
I believe we can still, as long as it's within the purview of the executive session, we can still discuss
Yeah.
those issues.
Well, you can, correct me if I'm wrong, Marshall, but are we not supposed to declare what the executive session? So if we have an executive session on real estate, we can't talk about personnel issues. If we say the executive session is for personnel
Yeah.
and real estate.
Yeah, you need to determine beforehand.
We just need to amend the agenda again.
Well, if I have a motion to go in executive session, are we getting into any trouble by changing it right now for personnel and real estate?
No, you can change it.
Okay,
So I make a motion, we go into executive session to discuss real estate and town personnel,
or personnel issues.
personnel issues.
Personnel. Can I have a second?
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Demick, second by Councilman Zant. We go into executive session at this time to discuss real estate personnel issues. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor say aye. Aye. All the same. Motion passed. Affirmative. What time is it, Catherine? 19:09.
It is 7:09.
Have a motion to go back in the regular session.
I move we go back to the regular session.
Have a second.
Second.
Moved and second. Moved by Councilman Zant, second by Councilman Demick. We go back to regular session. Any discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, both same. Motion passed on affirmative at 7:52.
I move we advertise for new town clerk.
Been moved by Councilman Zent, that we advertise for a new town clerk. Can I have a second?
Second.
And second by Councilman Demick. Any further discussion?
And for clarification on, for the public on when. I guess. I'm still here for now.
Okay, so anticipate six weeks, 8 weeks of advertisement, or wouldn't, how long was necessary in preparation?
Yep, in the other discussion, it's just, we'll follow the state statute, advertise for minimum 3 weeks and start the interview. We'll start the interview process. Everybody understands. We're just looking for a clerk treasurer. Chris is staying on as chief of police, but it's just trying, he's been doing 2 jobs for over 2 years that are both very technical and very stressful, hard work. And he's donated a lot to the town, done a lot for us, but it's time to get him some help. And so that's what's bringing this about. So he got us up and going, and hopefully we'll bring someone in that Chris can train to continue what he's started and continue on with that process. So any other discussion or input anybody'd like to bring? None being, all in favor to advertise for clerk treasurer for the town of Shoshoni, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, both same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Consent agenda. Approval of the minutes for June 28th, 2022. Approval of the bill from June 19th, 2022 to July 12th, 2022. I have a motion to approve.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Been moved by Councilman Zent, we approve the consent agenda. Can I have a second?
Second.
Been second by Councilman Demick. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Permits, animal permits, geese.
So after looking at the full permit and our full permitting process as approved previously by council back in 2000, forgive me for the date, 10. This application as submitted is incomplete, so I would request that it be denied, and I will contact them to resubmit a full application.
I move we deny the animal permit for geese.
Been moved and second, we denied animal permit for geese. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Permit denied. All in the affirmative.
And for clarification, in the email I did add a email that has the full permit that's missing. If you go back to your email, it's in there. You can see it.
Business license, Central Wyoming Landscaping.
was a business license from Sadie O'Neill for a landscaping company based out of Shoshoni. I believe she's also advertised on Shoshoni Facebook for landscaping services.
I move we approve business license for Central Wyoming Landscaping.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Zent, second by Councilman Demick, that we approve the business license for Central Wyoming Landscaping. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, the same. Not approved. All affirmative. Unfinished business, meet the candidate. What do you have to present that, Chris, to us?
So I was able to reach out and receive 2 moderators to agree to do meet the candidates. However, the date, I know we selected August 2nd tentatively, and looking at maybe a Thursday, so the date would be August 4th at 6 p.m. One of the suggestions was, since this is a primary meet the candidates, that it be mayor only, not include the council member candidates, as all 3 will automatically transfer to the primary election. And they felt that it would be more prudent to keep it to just the mayor, since it is a primary election and there is more time to be able to get to know the mayor specifically, so they can go on to the primary or the general election.
Great idea.
What time is that again?
6 p.m. August 4th. And they did request that I solicit questions from the community members. So I will set up a Google Forms directly to the moderators that the town can set up questions for at-large questioning process as well for community involvement. That's all I had on that, unless there was any changes or additions you'd like.
That sounds good. Need a motion to approve that, you sanctioning that, or we just go ahead and let them handle it? We just,
show up.
yeah,
They're gonna be over.
We'll have it here so we can have it streamed on YouTube.
That'll be cozy.
Yeah.
That'll be cozy.
well, just the
Commissioner
mayoral
Shorts.
race, there probably won't be many people show up.
Probably not. At least 4 guys will show up.
Maybe, yeah.
I think 6.
2 moderators.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Actually, I think we, because it'll cut down on chitter chatter. It'll be a much more focused meeting because people, they can't be way off in the corner.
That's kind of what the moderator was saying, because it clouds it too much, is what she was saying. That was her suggestion. So. And it being that it is a primary, not the general, the council candidates all will be on the ballot for the general anyway. So it doesn't.
Good idea.
Yeah, all 3 of them move on regardless. There will be 2 mayoral candidates move forward out of the 4. Very good. New business retainage release, Bighorn Roofing.
I believe Jim is here to talk about that, but the roofing project at the senior center has been completed. And this is for final payment on the 10% retainage that was withheld prior to completion of the job.
It's the best of our knowledge, everything is done and done well.
Jim, could you come up and identify yourself, please? I pick on other people. I gotta pick. on
Well,
you, Jim.
yeah, I understand. Okay, now on Jim Gore's, our firm was, should we say, monitoring the reconstruction or construction of the re-roofing project on the senior citizen center. We kept in pretty regular contact with Bighorn Roofing as they were moving along with it. And it took some time for them to get their materials in and their crew gathered up and the weather to the point where they can work well with it. All reports that we got from people involved in the project was that, they did the project and did it well. So we find no reason that you shouldn't go ahead and pay them their retainage and close out the project. If there's anything that's needed beyond that, we'd be happy to help you with it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So how was the payment finally made? Did the town make that? Because that was a discussion last 2 weeks ago.
Yep, so I was gonna bring that up in
Okay.
discussion. So I did reach out to the senior center. They were able to pay it, so we did not need to draw down
Okay.
and use any of those funds. So it's all taken care of.
Retainage release Viper Underground.
They're not here, but Tri-Hydro was the engineering firm that oversaw that. They did sign off on the final completion, obviously scraping disposal job. The one caveat to that is the truck that's still parked there. But I believe that can be easily rectified, so there's no issue for releasing the retainage from the Tri-Hydro engineer.
There's still that hole there.
That we're gonna fill that in, the town gonna do fill that. That was part of the agreement. So
Okay.
we would fill that in. Yeah, we're just waiting to get all that out there. But Buddy has the dirt. from
Okay. Okay.
To Davis extra.
Okay. That's what I was.
But yeah, that does need to be filled.
There's
But that's on
no
us.
way.
But that was on us.
I
That
thought
wasn't
the truck
part of
was
the
there,
contract.
Just
so.
empty dirt.
Weed control.
I got, the extra room down there. I didn't even know that hole was there. That was built after my parents sold the place, so. Can I have a motion to go ahead and release the retainage on both contracts?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Demick, second by Councilman Zenta. We release the retainage on both projects. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion passed all in the affirmative. Department heads report, police.
Oops, wrong one. So just briefly, so our final position for police officer, I currently have 2 applicants that we're completing the backgrounds on right now. We do intend to have those completed interviews sometime in August and proceed from there. As far as our call volume last month, we had 32 calls for service. We did have 1 DUI and numerous radar reports as part of the DUI task force of Fremont County. We did have 2 warrant arrests as well as 2 agency assist arrests that were probation and parole related. We did have a little bit of issues with juveniles, obviously with summertime being here and they're being out. So we will be strictly enforcing the curfew this month. So if you are under the age of 18, your curfew is 10 o'clock currently by ordinance. Obviously, if you're coming back from work, it's different, but as far as kids walking around after 10 o'clock, we did have some increase in theft, but I do believe that the person responsible was apprehended on an unrelated matter. But that is part of what we're trying to address with the curfew violations as well as being out and about at night. Dog issues, we still have some issues with dogs getting out. And I can't say it enough that if your dog is out, and we catch him, you're probably gonna get a citation for it. It's just getting out of control. I mean, I know dogs get out, but the frequency that they're getting out and barking at night is just needs to be taken care of by the owners. Other than that, the canine has been deployed 3 times last month. Did have 1 positive hit or alert, I should say. And those 2 subjects were also accounted for last month.
Any questions for the chief?
Oh, and weeds. We did put out weed notices 3 weeks ago, and I said that they would be this week coming up. This week kind of got thrown off. So this week if your weeds have not, if you've been notified and your weeds have not been addressed, then we're going to take additional action to try and get that taken care of before it gets out of control with the mosquitoes. I know Buddy's not here, but one of the issues with the mosquitoes that he's having is the weeds are so large that it's being ineffective with the spray on controlling the mosquitoes. And so he's asking for the citizens' help on trimming your bushes, not even weeds at this point, to help control the mosquito problem as well. Library. The library reported 34 patrons last month, 2 new patrons, and ongoing book sales, $33 in book sales. She is looking for help on setting up for Halloween, and she did provide a list of things that can be donated, as well as potentially the costs of how much it would be to donate those items or cash as well. But really, she's looking for volunteers to help set up and help run the Halloween haunted house for kids. I know the senior center does one more kind of geared for adults and older kids. So she wants to have one for little kids too. So she's looking for any volunteers that would be willing to sign up and help provide either for setting up, designing, or helping with the actual event itself. And she did provide a list of some of the things that she's looking for to help get that set up with. So anybody would like to help, please reach out to Town Hall, the library, talk to Melissa, and she would be more than happy for any help she can get.
Did Melissa mention is the cribbage tournament again this Saturday?
I am sorry that I skipped over that on purpose because I knew you'd say something. The cribbage tournament is July 16th.
That's what I thought.
She did have it on there.
Yeah. If you like to play cribbage, that's a lot of fun.
They do provide, she does cook food. So if you ever go
Yeah,
check
she's
it
a
out.
real good cook. It's usually, yeah. I think we have some people come just he brings extra dishes. They could take some home. But yeah, she's a really good cook and provides a very good meal with the cribbage tournament.
Yeah, well, whenever I'm working, you always tell me to come down and get us a bite to eat. I get there, it's all gone. So I appreciate that.
I've seen you get a crumb or two. But yeah, anybody in Shoshoni who likes to play cribbage, that's a good
She didn't put the start time though,
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yep, 9 a.m. Saturday morning. Depends how many, usually 12, 14 people there. Usually done between 1 and 3 o'clock. Yep. Do you have anything, Mike, that you'd like to bring out in the round table? Bob, would you like to talk to about our rural development visit you and Chris and I made?
That was last Wednesday, the 6th.
Yeah.
Went to Casper Rural Development for USDA. The biggest thing I learned from that meeting was environmental impact statement. You know, I was like, wait a minute, this is town land. It's zoned. Why do we have to do this impact statement? And I really never got an answer for that. The other part is that the town needs to advertise, encourage people to use USDA funding. It'll be cheaper for the houses. Those are the two big things that came out.
What about the boat?
We don't have the boat yet. But USDA has money for, what category was it? Vehicles,
Pretty much, they said pretty much one-stop shop for everything.
yeah, you know, they bought helped buy a brush truck for Lingle, Fort Laramie Fire Department. I was just being smart. I said, what about a boat? They said, yeah, we can get a boat.
I think they'll pay 50% of it.
Yeah, well, search and rescue.
Saw search and rescue yesterday with their little rafts flying from Riverton.
Yeah, well, I think it was out of Lander, actually.
That's where they came from.
You know, I'm surprised that State Parks doesn't have a boat.
Yeah,
You know, just having one at park headquarters it'd save time and lives.
We asked for one when I was there and we were similarly denied a boat.
Fire department was denied as well. We didn't get called yesterday's first water rescue. Not been called on.
you know, one thing I found pretty interesting in our conversation, they've seemed to liberalize a little bit their requirements, you know, a little less restrictive on housing, on modulars and stuff that could be put in and that they would fund. And also the income levels they allow. It's a family for near $70,000 a year. You can get a direct loan. You don't go through the bank. You can go directly to rural development. Nothing down if you don't have it. I mean, and
That was for construction, modular,
right.
anything on a front foundation, new, used, anything.
Yeah, permanent foundation, that was the only requirement.
Right. I mean, that's opens up a lot of, and that interest rate, maybe near 1.5% each. Something like that for a direct loan and you can get a loan through them that with a reduced interest rate of near 3.5%. And a family of four can make over $100,000. Was it 104? Was that the number?
Yeah.
Make $104,000 and still qualify for that loan. And was the max amount of the loan 325? Is that correct,
Yes.
Paul? Up to 325. I mean, that can help make a house more affordable for somebody. And an income limit of that, 100,000, that could be possibly even two new school teachers, husband and wife both teaching, but still help them into it. So, but I we're looking towards that part of our thoughts on our 40 acres we're plotting is to help town employees, teachers, anybody who works for the school district, don't have to be teachers, maybe open up some of that housing for them, and that's part of our push for that. So that was all positive, and they're not as strict as they used to be. So I felt that was good. That's basically, I think, I don't, probably is something I should say, but I have an opportunity to adjourn if nobody else has anything. Oh, do we have any more any questions from the audience about anything we said? Anything from the audience?
I have something. I
Please.
should have asked to have put on the agenda for department heads, but I have been asked a couple questions regarding signage for the election. And putting for more than one person, so I figure I probably ought to address it now. I can't find anything in your codes, then maybe I'm missing it, but I didn't find anything directly there, except that you'll follow state statute. So the state statute is that written signage and campaign advertising can't be placed on any real or personal property owned by the state or political subdivisions. Now, with that said, though, the exception to that is on any street right-of-ways that the municipality owns, they can go on as long as it doesn't violate any municipal codes and the landowner's good with it.
Yep.
And it's the same for YDOT right away going through town. They have to follow the same rules. So whatever the town has, the YDOT follows the same thing going through town.
My, it's my understanding that it couldn't be in the right away.
Says the Department of Transportation shall allow campaign materials to be placed on a state right of way within a municipality to the same extent which the municipality allows
Okay.
campaign materials to be placed on municipal street right of ways.
So it would be so we clarify that it can be in this right away as long as the landowner
I would,
it gives their permission.
as long as there's approval from the landowner, and no rules or regulations of the municipality are violated.
Right. And that is the same thing. I was aware of that on the municipal, on the side streets, all the right away. Same thing, as long as the landowner approves, it can be in the town right away.
Yep.
What's the distance from a polling place? 200 feet,
300.
300 feet,
Yeah, I'd have to look up a little more on that.
or 100?
That was 100.
You know, when first I said 2. It's pretty close.
We'll find out.
I'll look up that specifically for you. Because it's not in this statute.
Some reason I'm thinking it's 300 because you gotta be, because they gotta move the signs away that's on the fence over there. Going down Wyoming Street because it's too close to the polling place. Down a block away.
Oh,
That's 300 foot.
Yeah,
That's why I'm saying,
that's right.
that's why I'm thinking 300 foot.
Yeah, and then regarding anything on school property, you have to allow it as long as it's equal access to everybody. And with whatever rules they want to where it's placed, but it has to be the same.
So there would be no signage allowed on any of the city property, even if it's rented out, correct?
Boy, I don't believe there's any case law on that. So that falls into, if you're leasing property and you're actually renting it and living there, you're in a legally, you're actually like owner for that period of time that you're leasing it
Okay,
under a
that was-
contract.
Yes.
So you have a limited property right essentially that you own that for that period of time pursuant to the rules of the contract that you created. So that would be something that hasn't been, I don't know of any case law of that. I can do a little more research, but I don't think that one's been. I don't think there's any history on that in the state yet. So I would say anybody that's leasing it, it's probably okay if they're actually living there and leasing it.
Okay.
Because it's their ownership for that month or whatever that term is, unless you have it within the lease agreement that they can't do it.
Okay. Any other questions from Marshall? Or you want to bring anything else up?
No, that was it. I've had
Okay.
enough people ask that. I
You
figured
got
I
to
probably
appreciate it.
ought to use this forum to do it. So.
No, good place. Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Gores, please step forward and
I'm Jim Gores once again. I'd be interested to know just for our own interest, where things stand with your sewer service to the mushroom plant and getting that tied into the system. And what the timeline is on all this.
Chris, where are we at with that bidding process?
It was supposed to go in the paper here next week or so.
Okay,
Contractor, right? From Edward Miller.
right?
That's what we're talking about. Is the.
Right, correct.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when's it going to construction? Most interesting.
Should be going for bid for contract here this month.
Okay, good. That's really what I want to know.
Now, will be.
Yeah, will be,
Okay.
will be.
Free. Coming out.
If there's nothing else for the benefit of the town. Anybody, anything else? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
That was fast. Motion by Councilman Demick to adjourn. Rapid response by Councilman Zent. Moved to second that motion. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. 8:24, everybody agreed.